The Creative Arts and Tourism Minister, Catherine Apaku, this morning has been addressing the media on issues relating to her sector. She's really talking about what she's doing, what can be done, what ought to be done. Miss G was there for us, and now she's here with me in the studio to take us through what the minister has been saying. Miss G, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
What has the minister been talking about?
Oh, the minister.
What that we haven't heard before.
Well, that's the thing. What have we heard from her already? Now, today she took a time to tell us, you know, the sectors under her ministry. There are about 12 tourism sectors under her ministry and the creative arts. So she took a time to tell us plans that have, you know, been put in place to get things running for the tourism sector. It looks like when she started talking about the tourism sector, you could see that there have been some work done. There are things that, you know, you can see that are tangible.
Are there highlights of those things that she mentioned that we can talk about?
Yes, the concentration for most of the people that were there were on the arts. So we took highlights of what was on the arts because people wanted to know what's happening with the arts. The tourism sector, yes, we can see the tangible things, and so the concentration on for most people was the arts. What are you doing with the arts? But she had a few things to say which a lot of people were still not happy with, because it was more like, we plan to do this, we intend to do that,
so we're still in the planning stage.
Exactly, we are running researches and all that. So like you asked, let's see some excerpts of the things that she's planning.
We can hear the minister now.
In Ghana, we invite Ghanaians to promote and patronize local fabrics and fashion, whose practitioners are listed as domains in creative arts and culture. In Eat Ghana, we are promoting local cuisine, an area that lies in the domain of culture. When this campaign sinks into the national psyche, and we intend to continue aggressively, the end result will sustain the tourism, arts and culture. Alongside the promotion, music is played. Imagine our promotion without music. Be that as it may, the ministry has made it a conscious policy to give arts and culture specifically a pride of place, because it's only 3 years old. 2013 it was born. Though the Creative Arts Bill is yet to be passed into law as an act, and we salute the predecessors and the stakeholders who worked on it to get the bill, we are pleased to announce that the Creative Arts Council Secretariat has been established with a fully furnished office at Attic, with an interim executive headed by Mr. Okre Kumante, an industry person. This executive interim team have also put in place to oversee the affairs of the creative arts sector, to go out to conduct research, and as you are all aware, getting them funds was always a challenge, but they have not relented. They have put first time in 2018 budget, there was a budget line item for the creative arts. Their budgetary support will be asked for. Remember, it is not with us, it's at the Ministry of Finance. It will be asked for and it will be given to them. So they will go on ahead and put in place what is needed to support their agenda. The ministry recognized very early in its first year that the perennial issue of creative arts and artists and practitioners living in penury while their intellectual property enriches others was not a situation we were going to encounter and entertain. In consultation with some of the stakeholders, the senior ones and some of the advisors within and who want to remain behind the scenes, we identified one of the causes as the challenge of the artists, the practitioners, monetizing creativity. Artists, be they film, music stars, producers, directors, felt strongly that their toils were not being properly compensated financially and were always reluctant to invest their talent any further. That is what partly accounts for the absence of quality material locally to compete with the telenovelas that we have all. And I know that Socrates is the champion of anti-foreign things on our TV, and I've told him, and he works very hard with us as the director of creative projects at the NCC, that we can only compete effectively because as a nation.
talking about making our arts more attractive. So, Ms. G, I'm interested to know how the people. No, but well, by the way, there were a lot of entertainment journalists. There were also stakeholders within the arts industry.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to know what they think. But for you personally, what were you expecting to hear the minister say or address that she didn't?
Now, one of the things I asked the minister, which I don't think she answered properly, was the fact that she could tell us how much contribution the tourism sector is making or contributing to the GDP. But she's not able to say to us how much movies, music, lesser known arts are contributing to the same GDP. Now she tells us that she's going to ask the Ghana Statistical Service to merge tourism and arts. So my question is, are you going to tell them to force the figures to represent the arts as well? Or you want to let them go do their research or find out? Then we can constantly and concretely say that this is how much we are contributing, and that's why we need that. Because even Obo showed the way. He made KPMG do a research to tell us that music contributes at least close to a 1%.
So we know that there are clear figures of what we're doing with that industry.
So she can tell us tourism. She keeps saying that we are the fourth contributor, whatever. To
but if she said we're the fourth contributor, she said something. You were not. Oh, just tourism.
So we are asking, what does the arts contribute then? If
so
you can tell us tourism, tell us
she's saying they
what the
occupy.
arts contribute. But there are lots of people who felt that the issues about the arts were not addressed, and we spoke to them too.
Okay, well, let's get the reaction now.
I think the minister delivered particularly on the tourism issues, but with respect to the creative arts sector, I believe she needs to get more engrossed in the issues. For example, when I asked the question about the theatres, I realized she was rather talking to us about the cultural centres. We were promised theatres, and we thought they were going to construct new theatres for us. Now, from what she told us, it presupposes that they are rather renovating the cultural center that we have. And then other questions with regards to the creative arts sector, particularly the one which concerns Richard Wharton's contract to collect data for the creative sector. We have companies, research companies in this country that make sure that they conduct scientific research. Musica did it with KPMG, and we've all read the reports, very comprehensive. I don't know why the ministry would contract an individual to take charge of this very serious data collection exercise.
I'm not trying to belittle his competency, but at least we should know whether he's doing the thing individually or it is a company, because we know research companies in Ghana where they have a lot of track record and people believe in them. So we want to know the track record of the person engaged in such research so that we can make some of us very comfortable, since we know that the movie industry is a bit dying.
Only thing that I was expecting to hear that would have actually made our members happy, film producers, was the sale of Ghana Film Industry Corporation. Whether it has really been sold, whether government is ready to delve into the sale of that place.
I believe that if we develop the creative arts and look at our culture, then tourism will benefit from these two. You know, those are the 2 feet that support tourism. So if we want to develop tourism and we don't give the necessary attention to the creative arts and culture, we would still be where we are.
We are expecting a lot for the creative arts industry, especially as film producers. I'm talking as the president of the Film Producers Association of Ghana. I must say that our expectations are very, very high. And so this is an opportunity to listen to our sector minister and hear her answer questions that are put to her, especially questions related to the film industry. And I must say that a lot of the things she said, or the answers she provided, are gratifying, you know. But I'm only hoping that the talk could be walked.
And I find one thing that we do very well here in this country, we do talk a lot. And I'm not the only one who found it, though. Everybody says that we talk a lot. So as Idikoko is saying, walking the talk, that's what the problem is. Now, in terms of walking the talk, I've heard that the minister is walking some talks, creating some TV stations. What's it about the Ejako and the Daddy Lumba station where TV we're hearing?
Okay, so I guess it's an app, a social media app.
Okay.
Bid for Ejako to promote the Kumawood industry, which is also people think is dying. He decided to come up with an app to promote on social media. So it's going to be called Ejako TV. That will be launched on Sunday at the mall, and the minister says she will be there. So they are aiding. Remember that Ejako is an ambassador, and so we don't want to push well. And also next month we hear that Daddy Lumba wants to champion hygiene, and so he will be having Daddy Lumba TV as well in March.
And is that a television station, or is he
also
just collaborating, doing documentaries?
I think they're going to be highlighting, they're going to be doing this vast social media, and he'll be highlighting the need for us to keep our beaches clean and hygiene. And Ejako will be showing us a bit of movies that I'm not sure whether they're only movies that he is featured in, but I think it's a way of maximizing some profits or getting something into their pocket. We hope to see how that goes. We are not too sure of how it's good, but the good news for a lot of people is that there's tourism TV coming up, and initially the minister said we have got license for tourism TV, so we thought it was for the ministry. Today we are told that it's for the private sector. And mind you, Gifty, the ambassadors are the one going to run the tourism TV. So it means that we need to be careful, because if I'm not an ambassador, how do I get my content on that television? Because ambassadors would have to have their content.
So when we talk about ambassadors, are we talking about the tourism ministry's ambassadors?
Exactly, exactly. We have about 21 or so of them. I think,
and they are going to be running that.
They are going to be providing content to run the television station, which is going to be called Tourism TV.
Okay, to be very frank with you, I can only say I wish them well, because TV is no joke.
Well, we want to see how that goes, you know.
Right, okay. Ms. G, thank you very much for that update. But there's more analysis on this, of course, on our subsequent bulletins and on all of our platforms. You know, you can trust us for that. Ms. G has been at the Information Ministry with the Tourism Minister, Catherine Afeku, met with them this morning talking about what she's doing, walking the talk. That's the expectation of the people. We see about that.